A young life has been lost due to the apathy that we have essentially seen coming in from the authorities. Talking about the 27-year-old techie who was returning home from work, landed in a pit, and in fact for hours put together was basically seeking help but received no help coming in from the authorities. In fact, Republic TV's investigation shows that there is a complete U-turn coming in the Noida Techie death case, where the eyewitness now says that the police and administration made considerable efforts. Everyone arrived on time, and however, due to the darkness, no one could do anything. Now, reminder, he is also the same person who had previously said that no one had entered the water. He himself went in without hesitation, but by then it was too late. Now, in this new statement, he says that the police as well as the fire department were continuously trying to rescue the victim. Let me just quickly put this into perspective before I play out both the versions. The version that he had given to our reporter on Sunday, and now what he has to say. He is the same person who had initially claimed that immediate help was not provided, and in fact the young techie was left on his own. In fact, for several hours put together, he was essentially crying for help, and some basically refused to jump in because of freezing water. Now it seems there are some visuals now coming in. Let's go across to our reporters on the ground. This is the latest images of the vehicle that is now being taken out from the pit after the NDRF, SDRF and the local authorities are part of this entire operation, where you can see the crane that is being used to take out the vehicle, which is also going to be part of the investigation that is now being carried out. An SIT, a 3-member team, is basically looking into this entire matter. It is clear from the evidence that has come to light that it is death by negligence. The very fact that the young techie had made his first call to his father, where he sought help, saying that he wanted some help to be provided so that he could come out of this pit that you can see, which is completely filled with water. It seems that proper barricading wasn't really done. No signages were there, and when he was driving, there was dense fog, leading to a situation where they were unable to see anything. On your screens right now, these are the latest images coming in. Let me go across to Harsh as well as Saurav. Take us through the details.
Yeah, Shravan, as you can see, the car is finally out here. And the police officials are segregating the crowd here, as the car is hanging from the crane, and we are sending you the live visuals from the spot where the 27-year-old techie died. This is the car of the same 27-year-old techie, which is out now after the 8-hour relentless work by the NDRF and the police authorities. Now they are successful in taking the car out from the ditch. And as far as the Mohinder is concerned, he has changed his tone, he has changed his statement after the police has grilled him yesterday, and he claimed that the police was working, authorities were working very fine, and now he doesn't have to do anything on that spot. Police and the NDRF had all the visuals, had all the equipments. There were no lack of equipment. This is the thing that the Moninder changed in his, the eyewitness changed in his statement. As you can see, in our VJ is showing that the car is being taken by the crane here, and the 27-year-old techie was in this car only. Now the car is finally out, which jumped into the ditch on Saturday early morning, and the techie was on the roof of this car only, and he could not be saved. He could not be saved by the authorities. Even after 2 hours, he was standing at the roof of this car. He was not saved by the authorities, as the authorities did not have anything. There were lack of equipments. There were no rope. The rope was small. They could not send the rope to the techie. That is why the boy drowned in front of his father. You can see the visuals. I'm sharing the live visuals here. The car is now being put in the truck, and from here the police will take the car. The Republic is live from the spot. This is the car of the Techie, which was being brought out by the NDRF team and the other police officials. After a relentless work of 8 hours, the car is finally out. Back to you.
Well, Saurav, I'll just request you to stay on with us while you gather more details. Let me just quickly take you through what we know so far. This was the Grand Vitara vehicle that was being driven by Yuvraj as he basically was trying to navigate his home through the darkness and thick fog that was past midnight on Sunday. In fact, his car that you see right now on your screens, which have now been finally taken out by the authorities, plunged into a water-filled pit. It was almost about 20 feet deep, and that is the reason why. In fact, it has taken some considerable amount of time for the authorities to take the vehicle out. Yuvraj, in fact, the moment his car plunged into the water, he called his father for help. That was the first call that he made. In fact, it turns out from some of the videos that have been accessed by Republic TV, he in fact flashed his phone's flashlight to indicate his location. It does appear from the preliminary investigation that he did everything he could. Now, it was essentially a rescue operation that actually failed him. Ultimately, it was pitch dark. It was January's cold water that essentially swallowed a helpless Yuvraj, who was barely a kilometer away from his home. The shocking aspect is also the first responder's statement, who had first spoken to Republic TV on Sunday evening, where he said that there was an immediate rescue operation that was carried out. In fact, this incident happened a little after midnight. Until about 2:30 or 3:30 is when this entire operation failed completely. In fact, they did not even reach the spot with the necessary equipments. Now, that was the first statement that was given by the responder at that point in time, Mohinder, with whom we spoke on Sunday. Today, it seems that following questioning that has been done by the Noida police, it seems that he has now changed his version by saying that all possible help was actually provided. Now, the locals have said that the pit, which was basically dug up for the construction of a mall, has been lying unattended for over 3 years. Now, after the project was essentially abandoned, and since then, rainwater, sewage from nearby residential societies have all been accumulating in that particular area. In fact, if you look at these images that have been accessed, we're going to put that out in a short while from now. But before that, let me also go across to my colleague Harsh, who's joining us on this broadcast. Harsh, walk us through the details that you're picking up. It has taken some considerable amount of time for the authorities to take the vehicle out. Well, we'll try and reconnect with Harsh in a short while from now. As we speak right now, this is the Noida authorities now finally being able to take out the vehicle that was being driven by Yuvraj, 27-year-old Yuvraj, who was on his way back from work. He was barely about a kilometer away from his home when this tragic incident actually took place. Now, it is quite clear that this unattended pit, without much barricading, and more importantly, where rainwater, sewage, all had been accumulating for years put together. Now, despite multiple complaints that were actually filed, it seems that there was no action that was taken by the authorities. In fact, Harsh, my colleague, is joining us on this broadcast. Harsh, walk us through the details that you're picking up.
Right in front of the truck where that car has been where that car has been pulled. This was the same car that was driven by Yuvraj on the very day. This seems to be a Maruti Suzuki Grand Vitara. The front of the car seems to be completely damaged. The sunroof of the car is damaged. The windshield of the car is damaged. This might be probably because of the frontal impact that car might have witnessed on the very day. This car has been pulled out after nearly 8-9 hours of constant efforts by the teams of the NDRF. It's now finally put on the truck and it's been taken away from here. Now this is the same car that Yuvraj was driving on that day. Yuvraj might have made all efforts possible to get out of the car. That is probably why, because the car's windshield seems to be completely damaged. The car's sunroof seems to be open and damaged. The front part of the car is also damaged. The truck is now taking away the vehicle. These are the visuals we are getting right here from the accident spot at Noida Sector 150.
Well, in fact, that's my colleague Saurav reporting live from Sector 150, where the tragic incident took place on Sunday. In fact, now the authorities days later have now taken out the Grand Vitara car, which was being used by Yuvraj. In fact, the incident took place a little after midnight when he was barely a kilometer away from his residence. And from the investigation that has been carried out, it appears that because of dense fog, he was unable to navigate in the area, and his car plunged into the pit, which was filled with water. At least 20 feet deep is the pit, is what we are picking up right now. And it is quite clear from the fact that this entire operation has taken some good amount of time. Harsh is also joining us on this broadcast. Can we get Harsh on this broadcast and not Saurav is also going to join us from another vantage point. Harsh, walk us through the details that you're picking up, because it seems there is a major twist that has taken place. The eyewitness here, the first responder who spoke to Republic TV on Sunday, had one version to say. Now it seems that following the questioning that has taken place, he has done a volte-face.
Shravan, can you please repeat your question?
Can you just walk us through the details right now, and more importantly also just help us understand why this sudden change in the version that has come out from the first responder? He spoke to us on Sunday telling us that rescue operations did not start immediately. Now he's saying that all possible help was extended.
Well, right, Shravan, we have been reporting, the team of Republic has been reporting from the accident spot continuously for the past 3 days. It's been the third day we were here at the spot. You just saw the car being taken away by the authorities after nearly 9 hours of efforts to pull it out. Now coming up to the witness account that has now seemed to be changed. It might be probably because of the constant authoritative action that has now come into play, the political action that can now be seen on the accident spot, right from the MP to the teams of the NDRF to the top cops from the Uttar Pradesh police. Everyone seems to be very hyperly active after media started to report it quite actively. Now this can be a primary reason why the witness has changed his account. He might have been pressurized by the top authorities, including the cops from the Uttar Pradesh police, including the teams of the NDRF and the fire officials, who completely failed on the very day to save the young 27-year-old techie when his car went inside the drain. This might be the reason why now the witness, the eyewitnesses are being pressurized to change their account, because now the situation is completely under the media scanner. Everyone is watching, the world is watching that what level of incompetency happens right next to the national capital city of New Delhi.
Right.
When
in fact, we're just going to stay with these images now coming in from Sector 150. Now the vehicle has been taken out. It's now a part of the entire investigation that is to be carried out by the SIT, which has been formed by the Uttar Pradesh government. So far, in terms of the action that has been taken place, one is a junior engineer has been terminated and the CEO has been sacked. Let's put the focus right now on the eyewitness account that has come in, and there is a U-turn here.